Okay, this one was actually inevitable. Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell. I saw a couple comments recently from people saying that they're a little upset that I'm not referencing the fact that we're on our hell gondola, but rest assured guys, you're always on the boat. You can't get off, you're not allowed. On a completely unrelated note to anything, when I was picking this little fun screensaver for this video, it made me so sad because living in Texas, it's constantly always hot, and I just want a Christmas that looks like this. Why can't I have you? In some personal news, I am currently fostering another Irish setter right now who I'm sure I'm going to show you because he's a really cute boy. Say hello to him. Okay, say hello. Say hi to the channel. Say, my name is Liam and I am a boy. Last housekeeping thing before we get into this video. Today is the last day that you can get my emerald green tea on my tea website at 50% off using the code WeDon'tWaste. You can still get New York breakfast for the next couple days, but this sale will be ending by the end of this week. Like I already mentioned in a couple other videos, I don't know if and when I'm going to be restocking the emerald green tea, so if you like it, now is probably the last chance that you have to get it. Also, tea makes a really great Christmas gift, so you know, consider that as well. Okay, let's do the video. Do you guys remember that really weird period of time where it seemed like Hollywood thought the entire country, nay, the entire world was waiting breathlessly for its next sermon on racism and trans rights and how Trump is literally Hitler?
Trump is Hitler.
Trans people will always exist and we love you forever and ever.
I do too, because that's apparently all we got to hear about from these people for years and years and years. I'm pretty sure it's been like a decade now, hasn't it? Time really does seem to fly when you're being lectured by champagne socialists. The lecturing was to the extent that I don't want to watch new movies anymore. And I'm pretty sure that I hate all celebrities all of the time.
I understand nothing.
For years and years, we've had to sit through so much Hollywood posturing and pontificating, in the form of both celebrity opinions and the political messaging ham-fisted into basically every piece of entertainment.
Stand up for justice!
To stand up for justice!
Stand up for America!
To stand up for America!
Trump is not a legitimate president!
Am I saying that I hate white dudes? No, I'm not. But what I am saying is that if you make a movie that is a love letter to women of color, there is an insanely low chance a woman of color will have the chance to see your movie and review your movie.
So we're all having a baby. Holy shit. I'm gonna be a dad.
Please just shut up. I'm going to be a dad. Personally, I'm glad that you think that you're a they, them, and are probably sterilizing yourself. But what is absolutely hilarious, at least in my opinion, is that somehow, some way, this entire culture of celebrity posturing has unceremoniously died. The same celebrities who spent the better part of a decade screaming at really anyone who has moderately right-of-center opinions has suddenly discovered that nobody cares what they think, and that screaming actually costs them money, fans, and careers. And let's be real, the proof is everywhere. I have no idea what I'm doing with my hand right now. Please look away. In September 2024, Pharrell Williams said that he is annoyed by celebrities trying to tell others how to vote. During this interview, he said, "I'm one of them people who says, 'What the heck? Shut up. Nobody asked you.'" He also called these celebrities self-righteous, which, you know, I can't disagree there. In July 2025, comedian Jay Leno said late-night TV comedians have become too politicized and that they risk losing half the viewing audience by cozying up to one side or the other.
I read that there was an analysis done of your work on The Tonight Show for the 22 years and that your jokes were roughly equally balanced between going after Republicans and taking aim at Democrats.
Well,
did you have a strategy, or like was that?
Well, it's funny to me when I got hate letters from Miss Nell, you and your Republican friends. Well, Miss Nell, I hope you and your Democratic buddies are happy over the same joke. And I go, well, that's good. So that's how you get a whole audience. Now you have to be content with half the audience because you have to give your opinion. And to me, I like to think that people come to a comedy show to kind of get away from the things, you know, the pressures of life, wherever it might be. And I love political humor, don't get me wrong, but it's just what happens was people wind up cozying too much to one side or the other.
In November 2025, Jennifer Lawrence, who was once extremely politically outspoken, routinely attacking Trump during his first term, gave an interview where she essentially said that we've learned with election after election that celebrities make no difference in who people vote for.
I don't really know if I should. I think, like, the first Trump administration was so wild, and just how can we let this stand? Like, I felt like I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. But as we learned, election after election, celebrities do not make a difference whatsoever on who people vote for. And so then what am I doing? I'm just sharing my opinion on something that's going to just add fuel to a fire that's ripping the country apart.
It's almost like getting paid boatloads of money to play pretend has absolutely no impact on the real world. It's crazy. I can't help but wonder if the reason why a bunch of these celebrities are jerks is because they don't get very good sleep. Which is why they too should hear about the sponsor of today's video, Beam. Alright, you are all going to come along with me while I make my dream sleep hot chocolate in preparation for sleeping. I admit that Dream has become fully integrated in my nighttime routine, and I'm genuinely so glad that this company keeps sponsoring my channel so I can keep preaching to you all about how good this stuff is. And once again, because I apparently talk about Dream so much in my personal life, one of my friends came over recently, took one of the Dream bags that I have to try it, and then she actually told me today how surprised she is by how well it works, which I don't know why you're surprised. I told you. So when I say that I've converted basically everybody around me, I am not joking. Dream is awesome because it tastes amazing, and there are so many flavors to choose from. And it's also full of great ingredients like reishi, L-theanine, magnesium, and even melatonin, or you can get melatonin-free options if you're not so keen on melatonin, so that's nice too. And for me, I really like Dream because I don't feel groggy when I wake up. So as you can see, I drink it about 45 minutes to an hour before bed, depending on how tired I already am, and I find myself just getting calmer and calmer until it's lights out. I also love that my little Dream kit came with this little foamy mixer guy here, which I use all the time and actually comes very much in handy. So if you are ready to give this awesome sleep aid a try, then shop Beam's Black Friday sale with up to 50% off for a limited time. This is Beam's biggest sale of the year and officially the best deal that I have shared on this channel. So click the link in the description or go to shopbeam.com/SydneyW. No discount code needed because all of the codes are auto-applied at checkout. The biggest recent example that I'm sure you have all heard of by now is important because it was more of a non-answer. It was the antithesis of political lecturing. It was just silence. In late November 2025, Sydney Sweeney was once again lambasted online because she refused to say anything at all about her controversial jeans commercial. You guys know the one that I'm talking about. Why a double entendre about a hot girl having good genes is controversial is still a mystery to me. Perhaps this culture of uggos don't like having that rubbed in their face. During an interview with GQ, the interviewer asked Sweeney about the American Eagle jeans saga. She basically replied, "When I have something to say that people need to hear, they'll hear it." I don't remember the direct quote, but it was saying along those lines.
The criticism of the content, which was basically that maybe specifically in this political climate, like white people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority. Like that was kind of like the criticism, broadly speaking. And since you are talking about this, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that specifically.
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
Were you surprised by the reaction?
I did a gene ad.
Seeing people losing their minds over Sydney Sweeney wasn't terribly surprising, given how much of a fuss she kicks up any time she's mentioned. Her non-apology, her lack of groveling, obviously made these people even angrier, because that is the one thing that they want in these situations. Groveling and penance. But Jennifer Lawrence's comments and Sydney Sweeney's non-response were both really interesting in their own right, because I think that they really do signal a bit of a sea change happening in Hollywood. One where actors actors, actresses, studios, and everyone in between have started to realize people do not care whatsoever about leftist politics, but more specifically, their leftist politics. And more importantly, that we don't want politics in the media that we consume at all. I do not want your gender or diversity quotas. I want storylines that make sense. And shirtless men running around punching holes in walls. It's not that much to ask. As most of us with eyeballs have observed for years and years, it seems that in Hollywood for the longest time, the only acceptable political stance was to be a progressive, to be a leftist. For years, the industry has operated with a simple, unspoken rule. If you have a platform, you must use it to advance progressive politics, or risk being branded racist or bigoted or worse. And this rule has played out in countless ways. We have had actors and actresses making red carpets into protest stages, which has just been insufferable. Award speeches became less about acceptance of the actual award and more about proclaiming one's political opinions. This happened so much that even 2020 Ricky Gervais dedicated an entire speech of his own to calling celebrities out, accusing them of not even knowing what the real world is like.
Well, you say you're woke, but the companies you work for, I mean, unbelievable. Apple, Amazon, Disney. If ISIS started a streaming service, you'd call your agent, wouldn't you? So, if you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So, if you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and fuck off, okay? So...
Movies, television shows, really all sorts of entertainment became places where ideologues could shove their political agendas, giving us insane storylines, unbelievable characters, and that's just the basic stuff. That's not even the worst of it. It also gave us a bunch of stupid dialogue like this.
Well, here's the thing, Bruce. I'm great at controlling my anger. I do it all the time. But when I'm catcalled in the street, when incompetent men explain my own area of expertise to me, I do it pretty much every day, because if I don't, I will get called emotional or difficult, or I might just literally get murdered.
What's that? Esposo. Is he or they with us?
I need you to fix his suit.
The suit is literal perfection.
It will be. When it fits a woman.
You serious?
Well, there you guys have it. Now you've seen it. Ruby Rose's single facial expression. The absolute crap show that was Batwoman walked so that the acolyte could run. The term silence is violence, which was basically adopted by Hollywood, in a lot of ways became a weird, enforceable social contract for people in the industry. And those who didn't loudly adhere to it were fired, boycotted, and publicly shamed, like Chris Pratt, Gina Carano, and Zachary Levi. Side note, leftists also got attacked by their own here, like our girl Jennifer Lawrence, who also got flamed for not talking about issues in the Middle East early enough. I'm not kidding. Former industry people routinely explain that going against the progressive grain is actually career suicide, and simply remaining apolitical was no longer an option. Neutrality itself was recast as a sort of like moral failing. But now, that contract has been torn up.
Hollywood is just spineless, en masse. And it really felt like, oh, this is a really clear indication that we're not the cool club anymore.
In the wake of Donald Trump's election in 2024, and I guess also this sort of cultural pendulum swing in the direction of the right wing, I guess, something really interesting has happened, and that is this political arm of celebrity culture has gone almost completely silent. The same voices that once lectured Middle America on its backwardness have now realized that absolutely nobody cares about what they have to say. About anything. During the 2024 election, stars like Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Oprah Winfrey, George Clooney, and Julia Roberts threw their weight behind Kamala Harris through endorsements, fundraisers, and social media campaigns like the cringy Avengers group FaceTime call. This gave me the ick.
I think you mean assembling. I said assembly.
Don, that's pretty good.
No, they thought it was funny.
Scarlett, it is our pleasure to come together and to get the vote out this election. Come on.
Yeah, how can we be of service?
Well, how about we start with what our voting plans are going to be, who we're going to bring to the polls with us, that sort of thing.
I think Kamala Harris needs a catchphrase.
Ooh, yes, definitely a catchphrase.
How about this? I'm just off the top of my head. I can do this all day.
This gives me so much secondhand embarrassment. I have to keep reminding myself that these are not serious people. They are the theater kids. I was actually a theater kid, but I was never good at anything. So I, in one of our productions in high school, played one of the eyeball people from Hercules. You know, the ones who like pass the eyeball back and forth. I think I might have told you guys this before. I wish I could find the clip of that. I wish I could find the video that we have of that. I think you guys will laugh. It was embarrassing. What are they called? The Fates? I was a Fate, if you can believe it. I think that it completely checks out.
We knew you would be.
This Will Ferrell ad doesn't even endorse anyone. He just tells everyone to vote so Trump won't win, warning liberals their peers will hold anyone who doesn't vote responsible.
This election is going to be one of the closest in history. Your vote will make the difference. That means you, Gary. Oh, blah, blah, blah. I'm just one person. No. Shut the up, Gary. Last time, only a few thousand votes kept Trump out of office. And this time, we will hold you personally responsible, Gary.
I don't know, guys. This feels oddly threatening. Is this legal? It feels like it should be illegal. Yet, after Trump's win in 2024, a lot of this noise seemed to just go away overnight. And it seems like a lot of these people realized that they were at risk of alienating fans. Also, because I'm pretty sure a bunch of us will die of cringe if we have to see any more Avengers phone calls or a bunch of celebrities singing Imagine. Do you guys remember that when they all sang Imagine when we were all locked in our homes over the big sneeze? Still makes PR experts attributed this to a fear of career repercussions, that fans might be less forgiving given over half the country use their voices to cast ballots. There was no Jennifer Lawrence saying, "Do not let this defeat you, let it enrage you," as after the 2016 election, and everyone else, aside from a few totally insane people like Robert De Niro, seem to be scurrying back into their holes. A Hollywood Reporter analysis in January 2025 asked why celebrities were so silent on Trump this year, describing all of this as eerily quiet, contrasting this response with the vocal resistance of 2016. It also noted how their endorsements for the 2024 election made news but really failed to sway any voters. And of course, just to be clear, this is not only about Trump, it's just there's so many clips of these people talking about him, and they're quite easy to find because, you know, I gotta do a lot of research to make these videos, but this is also about the fact that they're not just quiet about Trump and his administration, they're just really quiet about all major progressive issues like the trans movement or the LGBT community or whatever. This silence has even extended towards award shows, which, as you all know, have been vehicles in the past for political posturing. At the 2025 Golden Globes, comedian Nikki Glaser, I've been told this is Glaser, but I want to say Glasser because that is how it's spelled, but whatever. Anyway, she briefly pointed out the complete ineffectiveness of celebrity endorsement, saying, "You're all so famous, so talented, so powerful. I mean, you could really do anything, except tell the country who to vote for."
Now, some of you may know me as a stand-up comedian and from my appearances on Roast, but I am not here to roast you tonight. I want you to know that, and how could I, really? You're all so famous, so talented, so powerful. I mean, you could really do anything. I mean, except tell the country who to vote for, but it's okay. You'll get them next time.
Glaser, similarly to Ricky Gervais in 2020, pointed out the massive disconnect between Hollywood elites and the masses, which was actually sort of perfectly exemplified recently when Billie Eilish, who is a millionaire, had a go at billionaires for having too much money.
If you're a billionaire, why are you a billionaire? No hate, but yeah, give your money away, shorties. Love you guys. Thank you so much.
Like, self-awareness. Zero. Oh no, the billionaires have too much money, but I'm a millionaire. Why don't you give your money away, Billie Eilish? Also, I don't understand how you don't understand how money works, because no one's just walking around with $1 billion in their bank account. That's not what this is. Anyway, The Atlantic called the entire Golden Globes award show a muted resistance compared to 2017's fiery speeches by Meryl Streep and others, signaling the exhaustion and a recognition that woke advocacy no longer moves the needle. Then we also have people like Ellen DeGeneres and her wife, who even relocated abroad, listing their home for sale in March 2025 amid rumors of fleeing Trump 2.0. But honestly, I think this has more to do with the fact that she got exposed as like an insufferable demon wench that people don't want to work with, and so she probably just ran away because of that, and then, you know, made it seem like it was a Trump thing. I don't know. But like I said, this isn't about Trump. It's about how these people have made it seemingly their mission in life to attack normal, everyday right-wing and conservative stances. Even going so far as to attack fans themselves when we disagree with something, calling us bigoted or sexist or racist or whatever. Which also just doesn't work anymore as a series of insults, because absolutely nobody cares about being called these names. I know I'm bigoted. I do not care. Thank you. But the failure, the disintegration of woke celebrity Hollywood does not stop here. As we've seen over the years, journalists have tried very hard to trap celebrities, actors, and actresses with questions posed to them, trying very hard to get a soundbite or force a specific answer out of them to fuel an agenda. We've also seen numerous situations recently that have taken place that show this is continuing to be done. Sydney Sweeney, of course, is one example, as she beautifully stonewalled this absolute noodle person. But I also mentioned on this channel a few weeks ago how Keira Knightley, in the most British of ways, essentially told a journalist to get effed when she was asked about J.K. Rowling basically being a giant transphobe.
Saw your voicing Professor Umbridge in the new Harry Potter audiobooks. I was wondering, are you aware that some fans are calling for a boycott, given J.K. Rowling's ongoing campaign against trans people?
I was not aware of that, no. I'm very sorry. You know, I think we're all living in a period of time right now. We're all going to have to figure out how to live together, aren't we?
Actor Tom Felton, who was also in Harry Potter, he played Draco Malfoy, was asked a similar question recently about J.K. Rowling. He answered that her views on trans people don't affect him, and he remains in admiration of her for the good things that she's done and accomplished in her life.
Does the sort of Twitterverse controversy around J.K. Rowling's views impact you at all, or impact your work in the world at all?
No, I can't say it does. I'm not really that attuned to it. The only thing I always remind myself is that I've been lucky enough to travel the world. Here I am in New York, and I have not seen anything bring the world together more than Potter. And she's responsible for that, so I'm incredibly grateful.
Only a few years ago, a responses like this, would have never happened because they weren't allowed to happen. And celebrities have probably thought for the longest time that they had to toe the party line. Or maybe the majority of them are actually this insane. It's really hard to tell. But now this need to be a perfectly progressive leftist radical has come to an end, and I think that's a really, really interesting development. It seems that a couple things are happening. Number one, you have celebrities who don't seem to feel a need anymore to worship at the woke altar, but simultaneously you also have a bunch of celebrities and actors and actresses who are now expressing their right-leaning or libertarian-leaning or even centrist-leaning viewpoints without any sort of pushback, and they're doing it more loudly, they're doing it more regularly, and they're doing it with a pretty nice reception. This includes people like Spencer Pratt, who is currently going so hard at Governor Gavin Newsom over the failure of the California state government to help the Palisades fires, which were honestly like pretty horrific. And beyond that, a growing number of actors and actresses are switching from left-leaning or Democratic affiliations to conservative or independent stances, reflecting disillusionment with woke pressures. The asymmetry here doesn't indicate a tactical retreat. I think it's an indication of the collapse of an entire cultural regime. What I think we are witnessing right now is the rapid, visible disintegration of woke Hollywood, not because its opinions and views have suddenly changed overnight, but because the three foundational pillars of all of this have simultaneously cracked. Those being, the public has demonstrated in the clearest possible terms that it is exhausted by celebrity moralizing and will punish it at the ballot box and at the box office. Studios and talent agencies, whose only real religion is profit, let's be real, have quietly issued new marching orders. Political preaching is now a liability, not an asset. Someone really needs to tell Rachel Zegler. We've even seen this very recently with companies and studios slashing DEI programs altogether, or, in the very least, removing them from public view. And then we have progressive celebrities themselves who have performed the ultimate cost-benefit analysis and concluded that their opinions do not, in fact, make any difference, and that continuing to offer them only alienates the audience that pays their salaries. And this is all, obviously, just the tip of the iceberg. I actually pointed this out recently in a video that I made about Rachel Zegler, but in contrast to Keira Knightley, Jennifer Lawrence, and Sydney Sweeney, Zegler has made it her personal goal to be as political as possible. She even gave a speech recently where she reaffirmed that actors and actresses have a duty to express their political opinions, which, no they don't. And yet, crazily, she is more unpopular than ever. Nobody likes you, Rachel. Nobody. And I have to imagine that studios are seeing the writing on the wall here, because I dare say that all of this is playing out on a financial level, which is obviously what we know moves things. Money moves things. Isn't that crazy? When the first pillar cracked and audiences stopped being held captive by celebrity worship and, you know, celebrity marketing and all of that, the changes then happened quite rapidly. And now everybody is openly hostile towards terrible entertainment and celebrity opinions. And I don't know if you guys have noticed that. In some genuinely hilarious surveys from 2024 and 2025 by YouGov and Talker Research, for example, it has been established that the majority of Americans don't want to know how celebrities vote. And genuinely hilariously, over 50% of respondents in the 2024 survey thought less of a celebrity once they established their political opinion. And a weird 7% said that they supported a political candidate because of a celebrity endorsing them, which is like, okay. Who on earth is getting cues about their voting patterns from celebrities and Hollywood? What is wrong with you people? With this in mind, it's not really hard to see how this translated to box office failures and the second pillar cracking / falling too. Studio executives, if we're being honest, are probably not really ideologues, but they are more or less accountants in better suits. By December 2024, the internal data was undeniable. Films and shows with overt progressive messaging were underperforming at a historic rate. Disney's 2023 to 2024 slate had already lost nearly $1 billion on quote-unquote woke flops. Netflix subscriber growth in red states had flattened the moment its executives started tweeting about politics. The message from every quarterly earnings call was the same. Entertainment is back to being a hits business, and politics is the fastest way to miss. The New York Times and The Telegraph declared 2024 to 2025 a post-woke era, with films like Moana 2 and Wicked succeeding by avoiding heavy messaging, unlike flops like The Acolyte. PG-rated films hit 33% of the 2024 US ticket sales recently, the highest since 1995, rewarding decent and uncontroversial fare over overtly political themes. Alright, so this video turned out a lot longer than I wanted it to be, but here we are, so congratulations if you've made it this far. But with that in mind, I will give you my final thoughts here and be kind of quick about it. It's clear all over that studios are retreating from obvious progressivism in the wake of all of this cultural pushback. And ultimately that makes sense given that this is an industry driven by profits, not by vibes and essays. There is obviously so much more to this, especially in the way of the content itself and all the entertainment being made, but when we look at celebrity culture, the loudness, the forcefulness is just seemingly falling off. And going forward, it's going to be really interesting to see what kind of content gets produced by Hollywood and how that's marketed and what celebrities are told to say about it. But at least for now, all of the wind has come out of their sails with relation to politics. And I think we're about to hear a lot less of their political and even social opinions on all sorts of issues. But in the end, I am absolutely of the opinion that everybody is entitled to their own views and ideas. But at least for now, for the foreseeable future, I doubt that we will see any of these people climbing back onto their soapbox to promote theirs. Now on that note, and before I open the floor to all of you, this is just a reminder to check out Beam using the link in the description. This is their biggest sale of the year, so if you are looking for an awesome sleep aid or the many other things that Beam makes, absolutely check them out. I promise you won't regret it. Now I open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? Are you on my side of this issue where you're like, yeah, I don't care what celebrities think? Are you on the other side of this where where you hang on their every word? Are you somewhere in the middle where you think that them expressing their ideas is absolutely their right, but it's sort of maybe a necessary evil? What do you make about the fact that they have been relatively silent since Trump was elected and with this cultural swing that has happened? Do you think that it's inevitable, that it's surprising? Are you surprised by the comments of the people I highlighted in this video, like Jennifer Lawrence and Keira Knightley and Sydney Sweeney? What do you make of their responses to all of this? And what do you generally make of this issue overall? As always, if you have made it this far in the video, congratulations. I always like having you along for the full ride. If you are new here and you're not subscribed already and you would like to see more of me and more of this kind of content, feel free to subscribe to the channel, as well as leaving this video a like and a comment, because I do read the majority of them and I like hearing your feedback. As I always say, I hope you wonderful little chickadee people stay safe and well and make good choices. And if you don't see me in a video before Thanksgiving, if you are here in the United States, have a beautiful Thanksgiving, but I'm sure we'll see each other before then. And I will see your wonderful little faces in the next video.